What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to National Wrestling Alliance Review, where it pertains to NWA Powerrr, the show from November 26, 2019. They were at the GPB Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, and this time I did not botch it, I did not screw it up, I did not stutter it, I did not, mumble my word. I got straight to the point for it. So after the whole Jim Cornette, comments debacle, where it was either racist or going against, this whole starvation thing, that pertains to that whole comment that he, received, talked about Trevor Murdoch against Nick Aldis, the whole thing of Trevor Murdoch is the only guy that he knows that could strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back to ride a scooter or whatever to Ethiopia. That whole thing that Jim Cornette did. Ever since that debacle, they decided to do some editing here for this edition of NWA Powerrr from, again, November 26, 2019, with alright, forgetting his name here. I apologize for that. Oh yeah, Joe Gali. I think it's Joe Gali. I think it's Joe Gali. I'm assuming it's Gali, but yeah, Joe Gali. He introduced, basically welcomed us to NWA Powerrr, and basically, and also this was Thanksgiving Eve edition of NWA Powerrr. So sort of Eve, and Thanksgiving Eve, because now that I think about it, this was aired back on the Tuesday, so it wouldn't make sense if this was on Thanksgiving Eve, because Thanksgiving Eve was actually on the Wednesday, and then Thursday is Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving Day, and then following after that one, it's on Black Friday. But I digress. But I'm reading it from what it says as that's part of the day of it. But I'm just gonna double check though on the calendar from back in November. And bear with me here, folks. I'll get to the show itself too, because it's very important about how the show was structured after the whole Jim Cornette comments debacle on commentary from the previous NWA Powerrr edition episode. So give me one moment. Okay, it's the right date. All right, now let's get back to it. Give me. So, Joe Gali, I meant to say. Basically, this show, if you didn't see this show, NWA Powerrr from November 26, 2019, you didn't miss a damn thing. This was basically a miss episode, because they highly edited some stuff for this episode of NWA Powerrr. I mean, you still have something that I'm pretty sure that was going to be part of this episode of NWA Powerrr. But after the whole Jim Cornette thing, they decided to do something different here, which it wasn't the best decision to make here, because I'm wondering, what the stuff that was supposed to be on the show here, what stuff that was supposed to be on here that was taken out, because it makes you wonder, maybe Jim Cornette has said some other things on commentary that wasn't appropriate for anyone to watch that live at the time. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's basically what the gist was all about. But so here's basically what happened on the show here. Besides the plugging of NWA's pay-per-view called Into the Fire, and basically recapping everything else that happened with Chainsaw NWA, before coming to this episode. So we get Eli Drake was coming up promo, and he's being interviewed by I forget his name too. Marquez. It does. I don't think it says his name here somewhere. But anyway, Eli Drake's being interviewed where it pertains to, you know, the whole thing with Nick Aldis, where it pertains to go after the NWA World Title. Mr. Anderson is in his, basically is in his way and all that, and you know, Ken Anderson, you know, Mr. Anderson. So that's basically what it was. You know, I thought it was, he could have a good promo too. He was not at the studios though, because this was at a different location. As a matter of fact, don't remember what exactly where they're at. Doesn't say here, but he was at a different location where it seems to you know, to where Eli Drake was cutting a promo at this event that NWA Powerrr was at. You know, I mean, you know, National Wrestling Alliance, not the show itself. So I'm assuming it was probably one of those house shows that they do. That Eli Drake was cutting a promo towards Nick Aldis with the 10 pounds of gold thing, and then what Mr. Anderson getting in his business and everything. So, and the whole thing would come male as well. So that's basically the gist of it. Joe Galli, I meant to say. He talks about Eli Drake, where it's gonna basically announcing a match for Into the Fire, where we can see Eli Drake and Mr. Anderson. Then we get to a video package of Thunder Rosa with her training. You know, for her pro MMA debut, and I saw the fight too on, you know, because I didn't get a chance to see it because I didn't know that was going on, but I did catch it on YouTube. I googled, yeah, I searched it on YouTube and there it was, and I saw the fight itself. But I'll get to that later, because that's what the show basically was all about, you know, in a way. So, oh yeah, David Marquez, that's his name, the only who interviewed Eli Drake. So there you go. Because he interviews next Aaron Stevens and the Question Mark, and basically it's about, you know, Ricky Starks and Colt Cabana, obviously, and also represents to the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. So basically, the gist of it, I think it was, in a way, they're gonna try to get to that point where, you know, that Aaron Stevens wants to shot at his title, whatever. But that's until they take her of this business, because all of a sudden we get to where the Question Mark is having a match, and he's being accompanied by Aaron Stevens versus Zane Dawson, who's being accompanied by Dave Dawson in this empty arena mask versus Shakespeare match. It was kind of weird the way they did it. So it was it didn't last that long. The Question Mark wins, and the loser has to basically I think sing a song, something like that. I don't know. It was weird. I'm like, wow, this was and this was the only match that they show on the show here. This was the only match that they show, and that's why this was a missed episode of NWA Powerrr. So Ricky Starks will take on Colt Cabana on the next edition on NWA Powerrr, which I'll do a review. You know, I'll do that review some other time. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll eventually. The match announced so far for NWA Into the Fire. I was going to say Into the Pyro. No, I meant to say Into the Fire. The Question Mark versus Trevor Murdoch. Eli Drake versus Mr. Anderson. Allison Kay and Ashley Vox versus either Molina and Marty Bill or Thunder Rosa. That's basically what they were teasing. You know, routines who's going to team up with Molina against Allison Kay and Ashley Vox. And finally, it was announced that it was going to be Nick Aldis defending his NWA World's Heavyweight Championship against James Storm in the 2 out of 3 falls match. So there you go. Now we get to this interview that was on the thumbnail of NWA Powerrr, where it pertains to Molina. So, basically the interview was about Melina, why she decided to come to NWA, you know, where pertains to the women's roster, to the women's division, and she's smiling and everything. She looks beautiful and all that. You know, and she got a nice, beautiful dress too. So I just got to throw that in there. One more, folks. Sorry about that, folks. So as I was saying, so Melina talks about how the women's wrestling has been lacking, with her not being there no more, that much, you know, since she's been gone. And I see myself, oh, this ain't WWE, you know. So that's my thought of it when she said that. But at the same time, like, all right, but let me hear what more she got to say with this. So. And she talks about how, you know, it pertains to women's wrestling, what pertains to you know, women doesn't, you know, they don't, you know, ever since she came into the scene, you know, Melina, ever since Melina came into the scene, no one has cared about, you know, none of the women's care about their entrance and everything. And I say myself, a couple of them did, and when some of them, you know, saw her doing those entrances, you know, that, you know, they thought, you know, how stupid it was and everything, and then all of a sudden they also later on when they ended up being in the business, all of a sudden they started to do the movements like Melina has been doing movements with pertains to her entrance. And here's the thing too, when Melina has done her entrance, I do agree to a certain standpoint where Melina did indeed, you know, had done a lot of movements with pertains to her entrance, because she actually did care about her, you know, making an entrance and all that, with pertains to nostalgia and all that. So. But basically, the gist of it was that Melina is here to be the NWA Women's World Champion, and because she sees you know, pertains to Allysin Kay being the champion, you know, she thinks she's not a good representative of the women's in wrestling. Melina feels like she is a good representative for the women's wrestling, and that's gonna lead to a match, you know, somewhere down the line. Obviously, it's not gonna happen at Into the Fire, but hey, at least Melina is gonna be stepping into the fire, what pertains to you know, one day go after the NWA Women's Championship title against Allysin Kay. So in a way, Melina is here for NWA. Basically, she's stepping into the fire for NWA, you know, Powerrr and NWA other events moving forward, where pertains to helping the women's division growing with varieties, and to bring back, you know, that women's wrestling, that like it used to be, like you know, back to the thing, like back to the way things were when Melina was there. And she's still part of the wrestling business. Obviously, she hasn't been wrestling that much, but now with her being in the, you know, she's gonna revive it in NWA. So there you go. All right, so that's basically it for it. Now let me talk about the whole thing with Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa made her you know, pro MMA debut. I forgot already the event it was of it, but she went into the cage, you know, into the cage. That's basically what the gist of it, the title of it, when I was doing this video package presenting you know, Thunder Rosa, and they show her training. They show you know, with her going staying at hotels and everything, and you know, having conversations, you know, being interviewed and all that, and getting warmed up for her fight. And I forgot who she fought in the fight, you know, in the octagon, I meant to say, you know, into the cage. Now they didn't show the fight itself, but they show after her fight, where she went to distance, by the way. She lasted you know, I think it was 5 minutes every 3 rounds, but she went to the third round and all that, and she had good stamina, good cardio, good energy. She had a good fighting spirit. She didn't give up. She showed that she can be an MMA fighter and be a pro wrestler at the same time. So, and by the way, with her name, you know, Melissa Cardavis, I think that's how I say her last name. Cardavis. I'll get her last name right. But the point is, Thunder Rosa, she was emotional after her fight, even though she didn't win, because it was a decision to the judges to give her opponent the win, because she got the most takedowns, the most strikes in there and all that, the most rest hold, so basically Thunder Rosa, she's going to get better at this. She didn't embarrass herself. She didn't look bad. She looked good in the fight, but she came up short. But she went the distance. She finished all 3 rounds, and that's the best, and that's good enough for her. And hopefully in the future, she'll get better training, and she'll probably win the fight this time. So we'll see. My best wishes, best luck goes out to Thunder Rosa, and obviously in pro wrestling, obviously, but also in her other sports, in MMA. And there you go, folks. One match. That was the total amount for this show, because this was a missed show. After the whole debacle with Jim Cornette of his comments, and I'm wondering what other things that were supposed to be on the show here that was taken out of it. We'll get some more of that, because I have a theory about that too. Just tune in for the next one. For the next review of it. So my overall rating for the show, I'm just going to give it a 4 out of 10. And with that being said, thank you for watching for It's Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets. But this was your NWA Powerrr results, the show for November 26, 2019, for this National Wrestling Alliance review. Until next time, we're returning to this National Wrestling Alliance review. I'm out.